Happy Sunday, Tampa Bay. We're here with you for another week to talk about the local real estate market like we are every Sunday here on the Duncan Duo Real Estate Show. Excited to have Dave Liniger, the chairman and founder of RE/MAX, on the show with us today. We're going to talk a lot with him about some things RE/MAX is doing, as well as the forecast for the 2014 real estate market, impact of foreclosures and short sales, a lot of different things we're going to go over with Dave today. He's going to be on most of our show today, and as a real estate veteran that founded RE/MAX back several decades ago, he's been through a lot of different markets, so we're definitely excited to have him on. I have Adam Rauman from Boss Arigi & Hogue on with us as well today, and we're going to talk to him as well as Dave about the impact of foreclosures and short sales and if it's trailing off or what the impact is going to be on our market this year. So, Dave, you're with us on line one. How's it going?
Hey, it's a beautiful day down in Arizona, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, appreciate you coming on the show. And now I wanted to start off the show. RE/MAX does a conference every year called R4. And you guys really wowed me this year with some of the guests. How cool was it to have Magic Johnson on stage at a RE/MAX event?
Well, I'll tell you what, he was a crowd favorite, very personable, very smart. He got right off the stage, ran out into the audience, hugged, took photos, everything. So very charismatic speaker.
You know, and I was really impressed with, I'd always paid attention to Magic as an athlete, being, growing up, just like you did. We grew up in Indiana where basketball is like the only thing that's worth, that's fun in Indiana. And, I was always really impressed with him as an athlete, but I didn't grasp how savvy in business he'd become and how many businesses he owned and how involved he was in those businesses. And it was really it was eye-opening. I had to go out and buy some of his books and read more about some of the stuff he's done because I just didn't know. And there was he had so many great quotes, but the part that he talked about that I think, RE/MAX agents really understand was know your customer and never quit. Those were kind of the things that I took away from his speech that I thought were fantastic.
Yes, and he has passed on that entrepreneurial spirit to literally thousands of his employees of various businesses, and he has especially put a lot of work into the inner cities of various cities around the country.
And his other thing was, how can I get better? And it's amazing that a guy that's accomplished so much, national championship at Michigan State, multiple NBA championships, MVPs, All-Stars, gold medals. I mean, the guy's got a resume that's matched by pretty much nobody, but he still, has that desire to keep pushing along and growing and improving. And, he talked about how can I get better? And I just thought it was really inspirational. I know that all the RE/MAX agents that were there got to see it. And then you guys are going to rebroadcast that speech out to all the RE/MAX agents in a couple of weeks. I know some of the agents from our office that weren't able to be there, I know, are excited about watching it. So I was wowed by him there and him coming out in the crowd. And it was funny because you could tell that some people were uncomfortable with the fact that he's out there hugging people in the crowd and high-fiving everybody, but he did it anyway. So it was awesome. I saw the National Housing Report that RE/MAX distributes every month, and it shows transactions year over year are down a little bit while sales price is up, and that's across obviously all the different markets that you guys are in. And we're seeing the same thing in Tampa. The market is improved. It's not just as distressed as it was. But what do you think some reasons for the first couple of months of the year transactions being down a little bit?
Well, the first place is that when you look on a national average, there was so much bad weather in January, February, and even up through this time period that people just don't go out and look when it's that miserable. The second thing is that the prices went up fairly fast last year in specific markets. And as those prices went up so fast, it started to take people out of the ability to buy and qualify again. You have to have time for the appraisal figures to catch up. And the other thing is we're still in an improving market. I think that this year, 2014, is going to be very similar by the end of the year in total number of transaction sides. However, unemployment is going down. The figures on unemployment don't look that good, but that's many people that gave up and are no longer counted as unemployed see the market getting better, and they're coming back into the employment market and looking for jobs again. So this will be a holding year. It's a chance for everybody to catch their breath. Prices will still go up, but again, you have to watch about averages versus what actually happens in a specific region or even a specific city.
And it's interesting because in our market, flood insurance was something that had, we're in a coastal area, obviously, where we've got, some parts of Tampa Bay that have been heavily impacted by some of the flood insurance stuff going on. So I think in the South and even some of the water areas of the country, that's been something that until Congress and Senate finally recently got on the same page and rectified that, that was holding some of our market back and I think causing buyers to sit on the fence and causing sellers not to want to sell because they wanted to wait until that got sorted out. And now that it has, it seems like that will help our market. I think another thing that helps the market in destination and destination markets in Florida, for example, is that weather that you spoke about, that seems to kind of fuel our market, not while it's happening, but a few months down the line. So, and it's hard to track, but I would suspect that by, middle of the year, we're seeing a lot of transactions from Northerners saying, okay, I'm tired of this snow. I'm ready for Florida.
I think Duncan, Andrew, you're right on. People, they're tired of it. It's miserable out there. And several of the markets that moved the most people to Florida also had the worst winters in probably 100 years. And so that encourages the process of saying, we don't need to live with this anymore.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see, Tampa Bay was rated by Forbes as supposed to be the 6th hottest market in the country this year. And I think they contributed a lot of their research to how our market had been doing, as well as the likely influx of Northerners moving down. And it'll be interesting to see over the next coming months how much that impacts our market. But we can already see it. I mean, we have families from Boston, New York, the Midwest. We helped somebody buy from Minnesota recently that are moving down here. And I think, again, like you mentioned, that winter, and that rough winter has transactions down a little bit this year, but I think you're right in that, during our peak seasons, the spring and the summer, we're going to catch some of those transactions back up. And I think we'll be in a similar position by the end of the year that we were last year. So let's talk about some of the hottest markets per se. The national report shows that, basically different markets where they have the sales, highest sales decreases or highest price increases. And what was interesting was the top city for reporting double-digit increases was Detroit, Michigan. And I think that's such a great sign for just a lot of overall understanding of real estate in our economy, because it's such a market that's driven by manufacturing and local jobs. And to see that market improving so well, I think is a great sign for our market.
Well, we were in Miami the weekend after the convention with a group of other entrepreneurs, one of which was a top RE/MAX broker owner in Detroit. And he was saying that he is selling literally hundreds of houses for the $10,000 to $15,000 price range that you could rent out for $700 to $800 a month.
Yeah, I need to call him because that sounds like a remarkable opportunity.
And so he's very bullish on Detroit and making a spectacular recovery over the next 10 years. It's very much like Florida. The prices went down so fast that the bargain hunters have come out, the investors, the foreign purchasers, and it's still a great time to be buying real estate because we haven't got back close to what we were.
Yeah, and I think, some of the other markets, where it's, we've seen double-digit increases in terms of price. San Francisco, markets that I think I would have expected more to see on there because they're hotter or warmer areas or just areas that are known for being great real estate markets. But Detroit kind of stood out and surprised me. The others were San Francisco, Las Vegas, Atlanta, Los Angeles, and Orlando. I guess I wasn't taken taken aback by those because you would expect similarly some of those dropped a lot, but they're destination areas with a lot of turnover, a lot of people that want to buy properties there. And I think that helped.
The thing that's interesting is, Andrew, if you look at San Francisco, the technology-created wealth is absolutely unbelievable. And the San Francisco market itself is turning into two distinct markets, and that's ultra-rich and poor. And the ultra-rich are spending and bidding things up like I've never seen again. If you look at other places like Las Vegas again, still a lot of Canadians going to that market, just as on the west coast of Florida, a lot of Canadians.
Yeah, no question. A lot of Canadians.
Yes.
And what about when you look at and this was kind of interesting too, the places with the highest double-digit increases are also some of the places with the lowest supply, and it kind of goes back to economics 101 that sometimes people fail to pay attention to. But real estate's about supply and demand. If you don't have a lot of homes on the market, and it's an area where there's a lot of people that want to buy, prices go up, right?
Yes, and long term, if you look at the way the world is working, the 40-year pattern of migration to the Sun Belt states is not being diminished at all. People are very interested in quality of life. You spoke about Indiana. I left Marion, Indiana 50 years ago, and I went back for high school function, and it was just amazing. The Fisher Body plant had closed. The Chrysler plant had closed. You go through downtown, and half of the buildings are boarded up, and there's tremendous poverty. Of the 400 and some students in my high school class, I think there's only 7 still in the state. And so people are leaving the areas for places that are much better for weather and much prettier.
Right. No question. Well, Dave, we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to talk next after the break about the impact and what we're going to see from short sales and foreclosures on the market. There's some interesting data out there that's telling us what kind of impact we're going to have, and I think it's a diminished impact, as well as the impact of hedge funds, large institutional investors on the real estate market in 2014. We're also going to talk a little bit about some RE/MAX TV advertising. I love the new TV ads, by the way. I think that they're just awesome. So we'll be right back after a quick break. Dave, I'm going to put you on hold, and we'll be back in a few minutes continuing to talk about the local real estate market with Dave Liniger, the chairman and founder of RE/MAX, and Adam Rauman from Boss, Riggi & Hoag. We'll be right back.